いつも君と待ち続けた季節は何も言わず通り過ぎた雨はこの街に降り注ぐ少しのリグレットと罪を包み込んで泣かないことを誓ったまま時は過ぎ痛む心に気がつかずに僕は一人になった記憶の中でずっと二人は生きてゆける君の声が今も胸に響くよそれは愛がさまよう限り君は少し泣いたあの時見えなかった
What's up, everybody? This is Storm from Storm and Blackbird, back with Tales of Arise. Finally, I have time to play this once more. It is time for us
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
What do you mean, be on our guard? We've defeated the Red Women. I so say so. Or is there more awaiting us before we head to Rena? That's right, now our goal is to go to Rena, the planet no one has ever been to and everyone claims to be from. So how the hell does this match up? We'll see it to believe it.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those Red Women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Doily? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena. And Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
And we better make sure that will happen. And also that things that will happen. Has anyone reached an SP level yet? No, I think I've completed that last time. Good. Ah, right. Still more unclaimed DLC items, whatever. Let's go. Let's get out of here. We've been here too long, far too many times. Wait, no, we're just gonna run back, aren't we? Uh-huh. The whole way. The entire way. I don't think I can fast travel either, so this is not the end of this place. No. Okay, this still stays the same. I'm just gonna go straight out if I've already seen everything. Nope, no abjuration in sight, hopefully. There sure is nobody maintaining this place either. And surely nobody's waiting here. This. Right, over here. I thought that's some way to open up a new lit area, but I guess not. Still, okay, I have to walk my way back the same way I always do. What about me? The game wants me to surprise me something with. Oh well, guess I'll go plow through everything. Now it's been a while, so I better know how to play this game yet. Still. Oh yes, flaming pillar. Flaming pillar, fire! Okay, at least I still remember how to do that. This complicated mechanism. Ow! How dare you? Just try harder and harder, as Alton keeps on saying. Hold nothing back! That did not stop it at all. Alright, infinite raining slashes. I can actually hit this thing for once. Okay. Can I do it now? There we go. Hammer! Okay, I see I'm still gonna have a bit of getting used to. Oh yeah, crystals down there. Ores. No crystals, no mummies. Gotta get everything I want. Because otherwise I'm not gonna go back here.
No further.
Yeah, I'm just gonna raining slash everything that's down.
Illuminate the top! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Holy light! He likes candles! Thanks so much! A chain between heaven and earth! How's this? I owe you one!
Oops. I actually missed that shot.
Stand back! I'll trip it up! Take this! A wailing healing circle! Appreciate the help! Blow away! I'll be saving this one! Blow away! More where that came from!
Oh.
Holy land! You're all blew away!
Ooh, a crit. Ow.
Between heaven and earth. Illuminate the dark. Magic is here. Holy land.
Dragon
A chain between heaven and earth.
Rising Wyvern!
A wailing.
I'll burn it all!
Flaming pillar.
Flaming pillar! Fire!
Nice.
This is the power of the blazing sword!
That actually was a finisher. X Breaker 1. Ah, right. I should actually look at the RCP levels. There is none. And none that I care. I will power through them all. No matter what it takes. Except for that one. That guy's just worthless. Worthless for me.
Gotta break through!
I'll bring you down.
This one's mine.
Now! Here I come!
Come on here. These ones can run rings around
Blow
us.
away!
Lightning. Down blow. I'll be saving this one.
Blow away!
One more where that came from. Down blow.
Blow away!
Lightning.
Blow away!
Lightning condemned. Thunder blade. Illuminate
Hit the wrong target.
Holy land.
Raining
Chain
flood!
between heaven and earth.
Raining flood! You're mine!
Love here. Photon
Blow away.
Illuminate the dark.
Raining flood!
Holy land. A chain between
Raining
heaven and
flood.
earth. This is it. I'm back into the fray. A wailing banshee of lightning.
Raining flood.
Down far beyond. I'll heal you all. I call upon
Raining
thee.
flood.
Healing circle.
Raining flood!
Eventually I'll hit it. Alright, with this I shall.
Chain between heaven and
Dragon
earth.
form!
A wailing banshee of lightning.
Hey Chief, good morning mate.
Rising Wyvern!
If it's in the sky, make it right.
Dohalim, this one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes.
My turn! I'm knocked up!
Lightning orb. More where that came from.
Dragon form!
Ah, wait, I know what we're doing this whole time. Using... Not using different spells, I see. We're already finished with the red woman boss fight, so here you go.
Here comes
Shield
now.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Everyone still in one piece?
Yep. I barely worked up a sweat.
Oh, I see. Guess I'm out of here. Right? Hope nothing bad happens up there. Oh, it's nighttime. Or...
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Oh?
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
The Sovereign.
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
The Sovereign has to
At
speak.
ease. Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust.
Like the Sovereign.
That's it.
Doverlim.
Who's the highest ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Damn right.
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
God dang.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldermen and Sia.
Look, up there, it's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
He won.
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope.
Thankfully, Dolim does not forget his principles when doing these kinds of speeches. Never. This is not what a Sovereign would talk at all. But him as the Lord being someone else, it should be appropriate.
I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Uh-huh.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie. Built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Hello there, Brennan leader and Max AG. After taking charge of the situation and relieving the people of Lenegis of their fear, Dolim stands tall, no longer burdened by his past. The Ground Dasher, improved healing arts, increased down damage, and I wanted to complete the Patron Lord. Aha! This is one good one indeed. Or I could do improved healing hearts. Nah, well, what is the finisher of this? Defense, okay.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
All Law's idea or something. Okay, our own people.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Way too good. You've traveled across space, even wiping the slate.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Leaving the nest.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
What?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
Hey there, Roberto. Welcome back after all this time. Alright, to the airship. Which means I have to walk over there. No fast travel at all. No more camping. Okay, fine, I guess. I didn't even need to camp or get CP back. Nope, I never needed. I can just walk through the whole city just fine. Not meeting with anyone. At the very least, no one is panicking around the streets. Aha! I thought I could heal that one with Shion. I guess not. What did that chest contain? Orange gel. I still did not use orange gel. Not even against that red woman. In that fight. Not once, damn. This game just really wants me to walk all over there in the starship. Aha. Still hurt. All the time. And then there are two others just sitting on a bench. Just talking to each other. Now that's what I call healing. This place is still burnt down. That chest contains also another orange gel. Good, let's get out of here. Take off, baby. Yes, there's our starship. That is indeed our starship. So what is the objective marker doing here? Taking us to the starship, thank goodness.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
Oh?
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should...
Oh my god, that scared me. Okay, here... It's not over yet. Jesus Christ. Just that scream in the middle of the dialogue, amazing. Thanks a lot, Rinwell. Oh. Not even in space we're safe. Not even against the jackals that are in Halo Infinite, I see. Not safe from them anywhere.
Damn! The hell just happened? Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Among other things.
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
That's the controller falling down. Oops. Shouldn't put it on my lap. Okay. Oh no. They just reactivate the reg. Okay. Now that thing sends energy back. Oh boy, that's a lot more than I thought and I saw before this. Ain't that a shitter? There's a rose. But where are its thorns? How well is this even a rose? Okay. What did they just...
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
All of it.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here?
In space.
We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
Yes, controller, I've heard you.
The starship, it's back online?
Oh.
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
What? Who's pulling us in?
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Lightening the mood.
Boo!
Ah! What the? Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell!
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
Good to know.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies, that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them.
Let me rewind my old stream and how Rena looks like. Let me see it again. Right. The planet was opened up. It was hollowed. The whole thing was a flower all along. Wait. Yeah. That is quite the discovery to make, not gonna lie. Keeping calm.
That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renin side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renin homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't understand, dwelling on it won't get us anywhere. What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime.
Where are we? Question mark. Lower level. Central level. Upper level. Gotcha. An empty throne or some sorts.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that?
Ah, a Renin.
It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
Uh-huh.
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Okay.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true Sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrek 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrek 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
Oh, yes.
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
10.
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Oh, wait. There are more than outside? Like the other planets? Or the other complete planet?
Hey!
Oh.
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
Well. That's just a lot. The true ruler of Rena is the Great Spirit, the sentient...
We don't fire drivers, we set up future mutually beneficial relationships for them. Now goddamn it, Louis, don't make me improve your future.
Well, thanks, Dodo. I always appreciate your words. Have to see the complete wording of that. Toto did not pronounce words as I thought he would completely. Streamlabs. Yes, continue with the profile that streaming made. Today's donation. Hope everyone's having a good time tonight. That sounds good for you too then. Good thing that I sincerely hate Streamlabs. It's so hard to just find what I need. We don't fire drivers. We set up future mutually beneficial relationships. God damn it, Louis, don't make me improve your future. Finally, after all this time, figuring out how to destroy Colombia, YouTube does it for me. So now we can go back to doing F1 jokes with Toto. Anyhows, here's the recap of the big things that just happened in 1 hour. We got out of the Forbidden Zone to handle the situation in Lenegis, as now Lenegis has only one lord, one ruler, and that is Doalim. So Doalim is now the official ruler of Lenegis. until, you know, he comes back after this mission. So now our goal is still Rena, and Rena looks fucked. It's... The game tricked us the entire time. The game definitely got a good one, did a good one on us. So, we went to the starship, got this into space. And the red ladies just surrounded our starship in space, teleported us away from both the planets. And Rena, we saw it completely. Well, a half of it. There is no Rena. This whole damn planet this whole time was one half seeable as complete from one side. The other side, it looks like an unbloomed flower. It's a goddamn hollow planet. Amazing. So what does it need Dana for? What does it need energy for? It's for the great spirits. The starship got sucked into another base called the Celestial Base. Dick Fizzle something. The party meets the dying Hevrek 35, who reveals to them that the true ruler of Rena is the Great Spirit, the sentient will of the planet. Hevrek 35 offers to restore their starship, but in exchange for defeating the Great Spirit once and for all, a proposition that inspires much debate. And yes, that's basically the gist of our situation right now. Ah yes, right there, if I can zoom in somehow. I forgot how to. If there even was a way. So indeed, he just looks like one of those red women. He is indeed an alien of sorts. It seems to manage Hevrek 35's condition. Lots of vital signs stats are displayed. So he gets to have an intensive care unit, I see. Surrounded by very familiar infrastructure, you say? Oh.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
Yep.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrek 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
Let's talk to the others. The other Helganquils. Let's start with the lower level. Fast travel point added. You mean I could go back? Never mind. Stop teasing me like this. What do we have here? More cryotubes. For us or for them? What are they trying to plan to do with us? Their starship can't function anymore, by the way, because the engine shut down. If we thought about escaping... What? Who are you?
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Huh? Okay.
The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
Subjects?
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrect 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
They're Renans?
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Massive lore time. Okay. This is the time. The part of a Tales game where we find out everything now. Where we find out everything surrounding what we've been doing this whole time. Thus, here we go. We must not forget any one of these. Let's start with you.
Have you guys lived up here in Deg Faisal with Hevrect 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Uh-huh.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
Oh.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrect 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
Ta-da!
What do you mean? The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans.
Oh.
As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an...
That I have a word about. I have rewinded this entire shit about... Oh, but what about... Wasn't that Red Woman with you, Doalim? And so I figure there has to be a reason why some were missing that point and some not. So let me find it first, cause it's quite funny just seeing it all over again. And somehow I did catch it up. I did see the Red Woman next to Dohalim, but didn't think it was that important, so I brushed it off. But when I think it was Law or Rinwell that mentioned it, and I immediately think, yeah, she did look very unimportant. So where is that image that I need? There it is. Let me turn the other desktop. Ah, wow, perfect. This is the cutscene where this happens, where you get to dine with Dohalim, and then yeah, she was there the whole time. I knew it. I knew she was there, but I brushed it off like it's one of his servants or something. But no, that was indeed her. That is indeed the power of the Helgenquins. Amazing how that just gets figured out. All right, back to our lore.
astral art of some sort.
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected.
That's unfair.
It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Good. The situation with Renans and Helgenquins, the Renan's great spirit, done here. I'm going to sleep with your voice. Well, why aren't you asleep then? How are you typing this comment? Okay, examine. It appears to maintain constant monitoring to ensure nothing approaches DAC Fizzle. Ah yes, just like our asteroid monitoring devices on Earth. Alright, what have you got to say? What's the topic?
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Their next shift.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Ah, okay.
Excuse me?
Oh.
So these guys are also from lineages. So where do the people of lineages come from? Could this all be a ruse? Is everyone from Dana actually? Like literally everybody. That the Great Spirit, this Helgenquins, have all abducted and created Renans out of these Danans. That's just screwed up. All for gathering astral energy. All for that. All to control everybody into making astral energy for the Great Spirit. Divide and conquer in action.
I thought the Overseer explained everything.
No.
Apparently not.
He's not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Ah, bullseye. It's kind of obvious. There's no way two planets inhabit the same species. Not even in video games. It's either one planet has the species and something else gets them out of there. Just like with Tales of Symphonia. It was one planet but split up to contain human conflict. And now both planets had same species. One entity, the elves, went to divide to make sure no conflict was made. And somehow, out of all that, the half-elves were created to create havoc to making sure energy was made for them. And now we have the same situation here, except it's more maniacal. You got people mind-controlling everybody.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
Obviously.
There aren't. But there are Helgenquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
Damn.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helgenquil are on the verge of extinction, yes?
No.
In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helgenquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helgenquil technology...
It never began in Dana. It was Helgenquil technology indeed. Not bad.
...is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helgenquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
It's
Well,
just...
let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
It's really cruel. That's really cruel. After all that, after all of Rinwell's racism, we get to the conclusion that we were all one race all along. Just separated. Sorry, I just can't get enough of Rinwell. With the start of the game. It was all that we needed to hear from one particular race enslaving one other. Of course you'd be just like Rinwell in that kind of situation. And then to realize we were all the same in the first place, and we were all controlled by another alien race. So can Rinwell evolve into a galactic races now? a bit more extreme, beyond the cosmos.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
Okay.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied.
Ah.
The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helgenquil that day.
Oh.
For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types.
So...
To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
Indeed.
And the crown contests began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps.
That's perfectly...
A new sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
Poor Volran.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana.
Oh.
As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
Yeah, sure.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
This is what we call truth.
Feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves.
Oh boy.
I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to
Say
get
no
that
more.
energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Your party disbanded.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
One of the best cutscenes is coming up, I think. And for some reason, it's just Alphen and Shion alone. What are you implying?
Everything we thought we knew. It was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, no, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevrecht 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
But if Hevrecht 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find another. All of us together. And if we can't find one, then we'll make a new one. End of story.
Make one, huh? I see. Right then. Count me in.
And who are you? If you're feeling tired, okay. No. I'll cook when I want. Okay, let me bear this again. Because of all that, I can pretty much compare the situations with the other games, definitely. We had Tales of Eternia. Yeah, we can start there. It also had 2 planets, but the difference was the one was mirrored and the other one as well. I can't remember exactly anymore how any of the 2 species are connected. Everyone was human, that's for sure. But one was hungry with power and whatnot. I think it's more of a... The game was more... Well, the story was more of a societal discussion than a racial one like this one. Let's see. Tales of Symphonia. I already talked about that. Tales of the... I guess we can talk about the planet itself. We're facing off against an entire planet spirit, you say. So are we going to be facing against it too in the future? Have we encountered something like that, I wonder? Indeed. Tales of Graces indeed had something to do with that. Tales of Graces had Lambda. But Lambda itself was not a planetary force, but wanted to use the planetary's force, the planet's life energy. So we stopped him from doing that. Then we went on to complete the extended version of the game, and we beat up the Queen. That was a terrible, hard fight to do. And she wanted to have all the power of the everything else, it seems. It's been a while if we look back on that. It was a pretty fun game. Tales of the Abyss had Vaughn trying to take the entire planet's mana to create a replica of a planet to let it go back to the way it was. Needing the planet, of course, to do that, to get rid of it, to make a new one. It's the same, but we stopped them. But we stopped them from doing so because we can change the planet the way we want it if we believed hard enough. Obviously. Alright, let me heal this dude. He's been down for a while. Oh, whatever. Heal. Huh? He found me collapse again and helped me back up. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks to you, I can continue to go about my research. I have too many happy bottles. I see. Is everyone in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah? Alright, let's talk to Kisara.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
Big bro, yes.
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans, and the Great Spirit, and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So... to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is... well... I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
First and foremost, survive. These are Deck Fazol's construction plans showing a central elevator shaft in multiple circular areas. Indeed.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down. And there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
One original race, one manufactured race, but all one home. Roar!
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memory started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, When's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
Fight for the people, so that the people will fight for you. No, Brolin.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis, or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan's society without any bloodshed. That is why.
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
Bros and bros.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them.
You never cared.
Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it, before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call, is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danan, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dana's still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
Kick their asses.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
Oh.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
That's okay.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is.
Henrik wants to become the next
Our
sovereign.
minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
Henrik wants to become the overlord, who knows? Lineages today.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole satellite doesn't suddenly explode or something, they should be fine.
Wait, explode?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine, I'm sure of it.
Right.
Hevric wants to be the freed spirit. Yes, it has completed the social credits score test completely. Alright game, I haven't been to the upper level. What's up here? A shop? Oh. Maybe space. Space. We're so far away. Are you serious? Yeah, okay, now I understand what they meant. Yeah. So the thing on the left, that's Rena. Oh lord. The whole time we only saw one side. We did not see what was behind the curtain. So impressive how that was built. Like, you would think planets could orbit something. Or planets could orbit. But to think that these two were facing each other this whole time. Like some kind of, what do they call that in astronomical terms? Like, there's a There's a way you can call them like that when they're facing each other when orbiting the middle. Where there's nothing but just pointless gravity in the middle. Alright, Hevrick. What's your plan? How are you gonna do it?
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
Yes.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated.
Yes.
Therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma.
Oh!
You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
Nice.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
So
what are our other options?
There are other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die. That we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her.
Yes.
We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the Great Astral Spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it.
Oh.
If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the Great Astral Spirit.
And it'll destroy it though.
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony, considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed. I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
No starship.
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Huh.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alfred?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
Oh, wow. Anyone.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
What?
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Yeah, Mass Effect style.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Havrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar, is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Havrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait. Once the Fall Knights is good to go again, we'll be taking off for Rena right away.
This is exactly how neutral characters would talk. And this entire place is neutral. So frustratingly at best as well. The truth. Learn the truth about Dan and Rena on Dake Fizzle. Now to take the fight to the Great Spirit. So we indeed hit the final boss until the cutscene starts. That's our plan. Get the Renis Alma, and then put them in there, and then put it somewhere far away. And make sure we control that pathway too. That doesn't sound like a bad idea after all. And Alphen, once again, has it all. Every time these kinds of situations happen, if even one has to be sacrificed for the lives of billions, that sucks for all the billions of people. He will not sacrifice his one friend. Find a different way. No way we're gonna have any one of Alphen's friends be sacrificed. There's no way in any place in the world that's rational to Alphen. That is so good. That's a great personality trait, not gonna lie. Why don't I stream on Twitch? Because I don't have an audience on Twitch. It'll take some time to completely repair your starship. I suggest that you all get some rest in the interim. Rest. Rest indeed we shall. Is this the cutscene we were waiting for? That we're all expecting now?
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
Indeed.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too.
What?
There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
Yes.
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
That implies it all.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle.
Oh, really?
So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before. About whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
Oh, with the... back then.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's Great Spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
Poetic.
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Hevrick 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will... well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
God dang it, guys. You're way too young for this. Get the hell out of here. Good grief.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do.
Oh no. Oh no.
Like Hevrect 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
No.
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Xion. I'm going to fight this until the very end.
So
I hope you can forgive me for that.
So if it does come down to it,
Alphen,
make your memories now.
Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Another reason.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me.
Yep.
And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before.
Oh god.
But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Xion,
What?
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I got it. If there's anything to fight for, that's the thing.
Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
The whole
Maybe
time?
we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
Should.
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
Ah, okay.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
Ah, we're used to it.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Yeah, though, bro.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy.
Yeah, happens.
Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
Such a non-answer. I see that Alphen is indeed a sovereign after all. If he keeps on talking like this to other things. Not my friends, let's sacrifice them. We'll save both worlds, right, Alphen? I'll see where his path really lies in here.
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Firemaster Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. And with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrect 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
Stop bullshitting me, Shion. Asbel was able to absorb a god inside him and still survives and lives on till this day. You can't bullshit me with an entire planet's energy. You gotta be serious. Let's get out of here. Somehow my food level is still rock bottom and it's not going down. Take off to Rena. Wait, are we? Are you sure about this?
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There it is, the planet Rena. In all its glory. The food timer only counts at battle. Convenient. But I swear it's kind of hard to imagine everyone being on the verge of hunger again. The whole time. Okay, Rena looks like utter abyss. This looks like the abyss again. Except it looks like water. Like the ocean, not miasma. Hey, look, the color changed in everyone. It's much more contrastier.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy.
Ah, yes.
This world is dead.
Makes
then
sense.
This must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is
Oh!
that stuff?
No!
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
That's sick. No.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
That's just
so arresting. This world of doom.
That's just terrible.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
Goddamn parasite, you say? What a parasite it is.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive.
Nada.
It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
When I said Rena was hollow earlier, I meant literally. That's just... that's some foreshadowing for sure. We need a couple of shovels.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever.
Special owls for special people? No, I mean, okay, more owls, gotcha. What does that mean? Rena. We can go back. An old news sub quiz. Goodness me. What does this mean now? Do I go back and fulfill them? Rena. The world that may seem what it seems to be, but it isn't.
How long has it been since I last went this hungry?
Fuck's sake.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Oh no.
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renin graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something.
The challenge of a lifetime.
So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renis Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength. It's that it's sentient, too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
we might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renis Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up.
Bridging the divides.
Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renin rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renins, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different as someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
there will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
Hallelujah, indeed. Berg Volcano, There's a sub-quiz I can get here.
Whew.
At the very least, I had, lower level.
I don't sense any more enemies.
Keeping up with the Helgen Quill.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
Huh?
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, while I've got you, what's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hootle.
Oh no.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hootle.
Ow, ow, ow! Seriously, what the hell?
Thinning the herd.
You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zeugles. Like, a whole lot.
Yep.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Lock them
Aside
up.
from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
We're all the same, we're just wearing different suits. And might as well be bipedals and quadrupedals. Everything around. Helganquils, the citizen of Rena, in all its might and glory. So what subquest do you have?
I think someone's calling out for us.
They could have something they need from us.
Of all things you might need.
Yes.
It's not this one though. Okay. Remind me, you two were both born in this current generation of Renans, correct? That would put 100 years between us, which would make me akin to an ancestor to your generation. As such, I have an opportunity for you to demonstrate the respect due to elders like me. Perhaps I'm reading into things too much, but is such respect truly merited in this instance? I couldn't tell you one way or another, but it seems like he needs help with something. Just listen to what I have to say right now. You see...
Excuse me!
Hold on, I can't let you go any further. I had a feeling this was going to happen. You always try to beat me to the punch with these things. I'm surprised to hear you object. I thought you understood that sometimes the quest for knowledge requires that we get our hands dirty. That's why I can't simply stand here and let you do this. I could be losing out on a valuable opportunity. Then let's make it fair, shall we? We'll both give them our requests. Works for me. I have no objections. My head is starting to hurt trying to follow these two. They must be pretty strong, if even you admit that. I don't know what you two want from us, but don't expect us to agree to anything.
Hey!
What's that? Are you simply going to walk past an elderly person who's in distress? I don't think the generation gap had gotten so wide that young people forgot their manners. How unfortunate.
Really now?
Alright. We'll hear you two out. But one matter at a time. We're busy people ourselves with our own matters to attend to. Fair enough. In that case, I can wait. You can go first. Thank you. Now, as I was about to say before, I'd like you all to go down to the surface of Rena and track down a certain experimental Zugul subject of mine. It's a failed specimen. I ejected it from Deck Fezol, thinking that would dispose of it, but it seems to have survived the trip in space.
What?
You threw it out into space? That's so cruel! And you wish for us to finish the job, I gather? That's partly what I need you to do. Partly what I need you to do. More importantly, I need you to collect tissue from said Zugul. I would never have predicted that it would arrive on Rena alive and well. It merits further scientific investigation. Why not simply go there yourself? Then you could research the creature to your heart's content. Proper field studies aren't my area of expertise. How I presented myself, but apparently not. Sounds like someone's a little lazy to me.
Agreed.
I have rather mixed feelings. I won't make any firm promises on whether we shall deliver, but if that works for you, we'll look into it.
Very nice.
I'm pleased to see my predictions about you weren't unfounded. In that case, go on and get to work. The rest of my research is being held up by this. The sooner you finish this, the better. I should also mention, the Zugul in question is a 6th-armed giant. It's an extremely violent specimen, so be careful when dealing with it. A 6th-armed giant. Is that the sword dancer?
Dohalim, the line of researchers is getting longer.
Perhaps I should have put more thought into this before accepting.
Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, that's accepted. And there's 31 in this direction. Yeah, alright, right. The Legion. Okay. Someone needs help directly right in front of the fast travel point.
We've reached our destination.
A soldier? My lord, you've received a notice from Noctua. It says that the wedding is to be held at Zagsleo Temple. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know. At last, it seems the big wedding is upon us. I can ill think of a happier occasion than this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for them. Their future. Yeah. Yes. Let me do it.
Saxleo Temple. Isn't that where Shion was being held? Shh.
Wasn't it beautiful? I can't wait for this.
Growing up.
Hey, Law. Been training?
Yeah, I guess I got a little carried away. You think this is bad, you should see the state of my underwear.
Huh?
Yeah. A word of advice. You might want to refrain from mentioning that stuff around girls. Ones without a military history especially.
Man, can you imagine Rinwell's face? She'd have a nervous breakdown.
Oh no.
I meant in general, but you sure mention her a lot, you know.
Oh.
Huh? Oh, you know, she's always there, even when you least expect it. Springs to mind easily.
Either that, or maybe some part of you is subconsciously always wishing she was there.
May the trials and tribulations of young romance never change.
Romance? Like I'd be interested in that know-it-all tomboy. I'm more about mature women. Someone more like Kisara.
You know, I used to be a tomboy too when I was Rinwell's age.
Look, it's not tomboys I have anything against. But come on, you've got to admit she can be a lot to handle.
Hey, I miss anything? What's all the fuss about?
Rinwell.
Thunderblade!
Ah! What the hell was that for?
A little birdie told me you were speaking about me behind my back. Whew!
From the looks of it, I'd say you've got yourself a rival.
It wouldn't be called the Spring of Youth without a little storm every now and then.
Affection in its many forms.
Hey, Shion. How are you and Alphen getting on these days?
That's a little out of the blue. Why do you ask?
Sorry, it's just... I don't know, I'm just curious, I guess. I mean, a lot's changed now he's got his senses back and all.
I suppose you're right. Well, to tell you the truth, if he'd been the way he is now back when I'd first met him, I probably wouldn't have gotten this involved. But then, if we hadn't met like we did, then I never would have experienced these feelings, so... I guess it's complicated.
I can imagine. I know it's not the same thing, but I know what it feels like to have someone you love who's out of reach.
Because of Miguel.
Alphen's still alive. It's not too late, you know. And after all, who can say what the future holds? I think if I were you, I'd take things as they come for now.
Besides, touch isn't everything. I've never touched you, Shion. But that doesn't stop you from knowing that I care about you, right?
That's true. But I do remember back when we first met, you made it plenty clear you weren't my biggest fan.
But that was a long time ago. There were lots of things I didn't understand back then. Not that that's the point.
Don't worry, I'm only teasing. I know what you mean. Thank you. And you're right. There are ways to convey your feelings besides just touching.
I'll say, cooking immediately springs to mind. And if it's someone's favorite dish, all the better. If there's something on your mind that you want to tell him, why not try appealing directly to his stomach?
You might just have a point. I'll give it a shot.
Thanks, Mom.
Uh-oh. If it's Alphen's palate you're appealing to, that doesn't bode well for the rest of us.
Well, friendship is about being supportive. Sometimes we just have to do our best and take one for the team, right?
Expect a good round in the bathroom after making an Alphen meal, eh? Creepy crawly tangents. Why are there so many skits when I go to these places?
Even after staying here, we never truly got to the bottom of what makes this realm's citizens tick.
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions here. To have one's own mind is strictly forbidden. All that matters is blind obedience.
That might be the case now, but it can't always have been like that. There must have been something more.
Once, maybe. Question is that something still salvageable?
If it's not, we'll just have to make something new. No, not we. They've had enough foisted on them as it is.
You're right. It's time the people here had the chance to forge their own path. That's not to say it'll be easy, but it will be worthwhile.
These things take time to... What the? An ambush?
Sorry. There was a huge flying bug and I sort of shot without thinking.
Yeehaw!
You mean like a Zoogle?
Something tells me she would have shot it, whether it was a Zoogle or not.
This realm is teeming with humid forests. It's only natural insects would feel more at home here than Menancia. In fact, I seem to recall reading somewhere that bugs around these parts lay their eggs in human food to ensure healthy incubation.
Sounds like they're tougher than they look.
What about you, Alphen? Bugs don't creep you out?
I wouldn't say I was their #1 fan. Mind you, if times get desperate enough, I've been known to eat them.
Insects as a culinary option, you say? What kind of seasoning are we talking?
Dohalim, I don't think he was talking about cooking them.
Hey, a lizard!
It's just a bug flying around, Shion. Don't just go blasting everywhere in an open area. Oh god. Anyway, she started blasting. Alright, let's go to the wedding, shall we? It's time we finally end this game. They say so. He wasn't talking about cooking them? Maybe? You know, we dare experiment with lots of things. I think this is the place. Yes, it is. Time for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not you. Lord Dolim, thank you for coming.
Dolim, you're here. Great, let's get right to business. Everyone is waiting for you to speak.
Oh.
My, this is quite the gathering you all have assembled. All the more reason to make sure I don't disappoint. Thank you all for coming. Today, I wish to forgo the usual formalities and ask for your blessings on this most auspicious day. I first met Zernatio and his soon-to-be wife Kagari when...
Just great.
This is going to take a while. Now then, a toast to the loving couple's eternal happiness, as well as peace and prosperity between Dana and Rena.
Cheers!
Cheers!
What was that? Someone fell down.
Alright, time for the big bouquet toss.
Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this.
You know, Shion, I heard that if you can't catch a bouquet at the wedding, you'll always be single and alone.
What?
Wait, really? Wait. No! Yay!
Nice try, you two. Better luck next time.
Never. Why?
Wait. Something's wrong.
I couldn't catch it. I'll always be alone. How could I... Oh, please. I'm so lonely.
Oh no. This is just like what happened before. Alphen!
I'm alone. I'm all alone.
What can I do to get her to snap out of it? There aren't any thorns this time. Oh, I've got it!
Alphen?
Shion, you're not alone. You've got all of us. And it wasn't just one bouquet either. There's also this one from me. So please, don't give up. We'll fight this together. Shion!
You dummy! That's not what I was upset about. How many times do I need to tell you not to blindly rush into things? That said, it does make me feel better. Even if your bouquet is just a weapon named after one.
I'm just glad I could help. And I made another one to go with it, so it wouldn't be lonely either.
You never cease to amaze me, Alphen. Seriously.
It's a gun! That is so good. A gun modeled after flower bouquet. Despite the romantic sounding name, at the end of the day, it's still a gun and should be treated as such. The wedding cake cutter. A ceremonial blade used to cut into large cakes at celebrations. Only those who actually intend to come back alive from battle get to use it. Oh god, that is so brilliant. What did you expect? The transcendent matchmaker. Increased art casting resistance. Witnessing a marriage between a Danan and a Renan, Dolim sees their worlds as taking one small step towards unity. And you learn a dark art spell. I see. Increased critical damage, alright. Just...
Feeling better now, Shion?
I'm sorry I lost my cool like that.
Don't worry. It's not like I have any room for criticism.
Being a grown-up isn't easy, is it?
Just kiss her, you dumbass. Wait, don't tell me you did not see the cutscene in space, Bernie. Where we were in space. Now the absolute reason why Alphen is not gonna say anything to Shion. Yet. So good. Wedding cake cutter, oh my god, what the fuck is this now? It really is a stronger blade this time. And not some kind of gimmick. Damn. It's a bouquet. But I think Shion's gun model won't change, because obviously she may be ready for a wedding, but for a different purpose. It's a goddamn flower behind Alphen as well. Oh, that's so good looking. Along with the, it actually fits with the color the colors he's also wearing. So that's really neat. Okay, that's a pretty good sub quest. What's next? What are some easy ones I could take care of? Uzbek. Who could this be from? Who wants me to go back into this place?
We've reached our destination.
Oh, that took longer to load. What happened?
Huh? I think someone's calling out for us.
They could have something they need from us.
My boys.
Yeah.
Hey, seems like you folks are still staying pretty busy. Oh.
Hey.
You could say that. You seem to be high in spirits. You seem to be in high spirits yourself, Granar. I try it. I like to think I'm good at staying positive, if nothing else. After all, everyone's so scared right now, it's important for guys like us to stand tall and keep hope alive, you know? You said it. What's got you all down in the dumps? Me, I'm fine, I guess. Well, you just don't sound like it to me. If Zephyr saw you like that, he'd be none too pleased. Krenar, cut him some slack. What did I say? Oh, yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just remembered that Nate said he has a favor to ask you guys. He does? What is it? You should just talk to him yourselves. Tell him I sent you. See you later.
Just great.
Huh? He scurried off in a rush. That stuff with Zephyr. I mean, your dad. Still weighing on your mind, huh?
I guess...
I've known every Crimson Crow since I was in diapers. So I know better than anyone just how much they revere him. It's not like anyone's pointing the finger at me, but it's hard to stop imagining that they don't hate me somehow. Do you want to wait here while we talk to Nate?
Thanks.
No, I'll come along. Not like waiting around is going to make me feel any better. Mixed feelings. Talk to Nave. Oh. Hey, you were right next to us. Alright, let's go.
Huh?
Oh, hey you guys. What can I do for you?
Well...
We were going to ask you the exact same thing. Grenar sent us to talk with you. Said you had a favor to ask? Favor? What favor? Oh, I know. You know the Iglia Wastes? There's a Zoogle there I want you to take care of. For now, we've managed to contain it and block off the roads. But who knows when it'll break loose and start causing trouble again.
Alright.
Makes sense. I'm guessing you want us to go in and make sure that never happens? More or less, yeah. But I'm not asking you to do it often. I want Law to take care of it instead. Me? Really? You've got a problem with that? No, it's not that, but...
Alright.
Good. Then get to work as soon as possible. If you need to break the barrier to get it done, that's fine too. Anyway, that's all from me. Don't let me down, you hear?
I guess.
What What is with these guys? First Grenard starts acting weird and now Nate. It's me. This is because I got my dad killed. Law. No, it's fine. It's the least I can do after what I put these guys through. I'll be back.
Got it.
Nobody said we couldn't help you. We'll come too. No, thank God. Now I get to go here. Now it's time to go to that place that has blocked me this entire time.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Seriously? It's everywhere now. Okay. First, let me eat something and talk to somebody.
Why are you staring at me?
I could ask the same thing.
So this is how the Sovereign and Maiden are supposed to look. You two go great together.
Law, come stand between us.
Oh, sure. You want me to put something white on as well?
Of course she doesn't.
What?
Take a closer look, Shion. It's a miracle.
What are you talking about?
This outfit, it's already got blue accents on it.
So I see.
What? What the fuck? Why is Law saying he needs to put something white on? He's literally the only party member who doesn't have any white. What the fuck? What? How do you get this kind of cutscene? This is terrifying. How did they know that someone would do this exact motto? The joys of eating.
I love how much amazing food we get to eat even when we're out on the road.
Me too. Especially compared to what I used to have when I was still a slave. This is paradise.
A slave.
It's amazing what good food can do to keep your hopes up. Nagal used to say all the time that the power of food is subtle, yet profound.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? For whatever reason, I find I don't worry nearly as much when I've got a full stomach helping me out.
That's why you shouldn't be such a picky eater.
Oh.
Huh?
She's right. You always leave food that you don't like on your plate when you're done.
Come on, what's the big deal?
Back in the day, I couldn't think about leaving any food. It was such a waste not to eat at all.
Mm-hmm.
You needed every last scrap of energy.
Exactly. Even when my brother and I didn't have much to eat, we all did what we could to make it taste good and enjoy what we had.
That definitely explains a lot about why you cook the way you do, Kisara.
Dohalim, I bet you don't know what any of that's like. You must be used to food being handed to you on a silver platter.
Sometimes it was gold.
You didn't shy away from that at all.
Although, there was one experience that does come to mind.
Oh?
When I first learned that the food I ate originally came from animals and fish, I was rather taken aback.
You just ate whatever was in front of you without even thinking about it?
It happens.
That's a silver spoon elite for you.
Yeah, it happens. Zealous taste testing.
Your cooking has really improved.
Hey, El Gulu, welcome back.
Shion?
It's because of you that I understand what makes it so fun. I'm glad everyone seems to enjoy what I make too.
I've noticed a disturbing trend that after it's your turn to cook, our ingredients tend to run really low. What's up with that?
Oh.
That is a good point, Law. There's a weird difference between the amount of ingredients she prepares and how much food actually gets served. Curious. Very curious indeed.
I don't know. Isn't it pretty normal for veggies to shrink a little when you fry them up?
Or maybe she eats all the bad batches herself so we won't notice.
Come on. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Then how would you explain the difference?
Ahem. I have a theory that I wish to propose.
What?
What is it?
As we all know, Shion here can have quite the appetite. I imagine she often taste tests her own food as she prepares it. By my eye, it would appear that her footprints are leaving deeper impressions as of late. Far be it from me to level such an accusation, but the facts lead me to conclude that...
She's been snacking while she cooks.
Yes.
And yet, she still looks so slender in her clothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious actually.
How does she do it?
Wait a sec. Are you guys trying to say she's...
I'm what?
Nothing?
Nothing.
I see. Revealing cooking.
Hey, Alphen. Why do you like spicy food so much anyway?
Because it's the only thing that
You
tastes.
know, I haven't thought about that before. Maybe because when I couldn't feel pain, it gave me that kick I was craving.
But now that you can feel pain again, wouldn't your tastes have changed?
No.
Did you like spicy food when you were younger?
Yes.
Not as much as I do now. At some point, it just became something almost like an addiction, I guess.
Oh,
I
yes.
can most certainly relate. Once you've had your fill of ordinary food, you cannot help but seek out more unusual fare.
I don't think that's got anything to do with Alphen's tastes. Although I won't deny that you definitely have a thing for exotic food. The stranger the better.
Hell yeah.
I just wish I could have gotten you into sweets like me, Alphen.
I like food that's dense and keeps you feeling full myself. It helps you last longer when you're on the move.
We all know you're a quantity over quality kind of...
What was that?
Nothing. I lost my train of thought.
You know, I've also noticed Shion's not really into the same kind of food most Renans are. Could be it's got something to do with the way she grew up.
That's so me. Even when I was little, I was all about food that gives me strength. All meat, all the time.
And I guess
Yes.
Kisara is so good at cooking fish, because she can catch them herself.
Damn right.
I'm only good with fish because it used to be the easiest thing to get. When you work with something long enough, it comes naturally to you.
I like fish just fine. But what I really like about your cooking is how it tastes homemade. It reminds me of what my mom used to make.
Really? You know, I used to cook a lot of meals for younger kids, and they said the same thing.
When you get down to it, I guess the things a person cooks and the foods they like say a lot about the way they've lived.
So, what's your favorite food and how does it affect you growing up? Okay, I need food to destroy whatever is before me. Or I will make food I have yet to do. Cheese fondue. I don't think I've made this yet. Kisar really is a mommy, even the devs know.
This looks so good. I almost want to have it all to myself.
Okay.
You okay,
Yes.
Shion? You're not eating very much.
What's wrong? Do you not like the cheese fondue that you made?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you more excited about food.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. It's nothing like that. It's just...
What?
I guess I just don't understand what the appeal is. We could just as easily put everything on a plate and pour the cheese on top of it instead.
Exactly.
I suppose it lies in being able to decide exactly how much cheese you want. There's also something to be said for enjoying how it all turns out. It's fun.
That's fine and all, but I wish the plate-to-mouth time was shorter.
I think I understand. You don't like having to put in so much effort into eating something, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, now that I think about it, you're a way less fussy eater than you look, Shion.
In my book, there's no one right way to eat a meal. Tuck in, take your time, be dainty or devouring. As long as you enjoy the food, that's what counts.
There's no need to stand on ceremony while we're out camping in the wilderness.
Yeah, you're right. In that case, don't mind if I do.
I've never seen someone dump that much cheese on a meal before.
Yeah, I am also the kind of Shion eater type sometimes. A cheese fondue, not gonna lie, is quite fun to enjoy, but indeed, maybe you'd want all that cheese already down there. Alright, top to bottom, Kisara, you're next.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
I've been thinking about what we discussed earlier. His reasons might not have been pure, but in the end, Dohalim still made Elda Menencia a place where Danans and Renans can coexist. I thought everyone would welcome that change, with open arms. I took pride in what we had without putting in the work to truly solidify it. After so much failure, do you think I even have the right to pursue my ideals?
It doesn't matter what I think. You've already found your answer, haven't you?
I know what I want to say, but I can't help but wonder if I'm being selfish.
Everybody makes mistakes in life, Kisara. Everybody. It's what you do afterwards that matters. But you already knew that, right?
Yeah. I won't look away from the world any longer. I'll do my best to confront reality, so that we don't lose anyone else, ever again. More to the point, Dohalim needs someone who can push him forward. I think we both get lost in our sorrow too easily when we focus on the past.
If we see that happening, we'll set him straight. Don't worry. We'll look out for both of you. I have to say though, if you turned out this well modeling yourself after Miguel, he really must have been a great man.
What, you didn't believe me before? I'm pretty sure I've been going on about him since I joined up. If you need more convincing, I've got plenty more stories about him.
Maybe another time.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay.
Not complete, okay.
Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Oh yes, it is. I'm sure you guys could probably guess if anyone knows who Rambo is, who's DMing me. Anyways, let's see. Where could that owl be? I don't think I have time to find out where it could be. I might as well go to the monster and see. Alright,
Is this the barrier that's keeping the Zugolin that Nath mentioned?
Looks like it. Our Zugol pal should be on the other side.
This barrier is weird. It looks old and half-finished. Plus, he said it was okay to break.
I mean, we won't need it anymore once the Zugol's gone, right? So what does it matter?
It is... What the fuck is this? Oh boy. Sounds like a big dude. Alright. Let's keep it like so. We'll have indeed law in the party. Tear down the walls.
Did they really think that barrier was enough for a Zugol like that?
It was. That thing was sturdier than you give it credit for.
Really? So that's the Zugol, huh? This should be a piece of cake.
Don't get careless, Law.
High 50s. Oh. I'll try once.
Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap!
he already screaming at afar. 53. Thunderite.
I've got a really bad feeling about...
Fire? Really? Okay. I guess it should make sense. Alright, let's put fire as a focus to everything we do. No water. You definitely have one fire ability. Yeah, Inferno Punch. But do I have to make it do that over and over again? Nah. As for Rinwell, you have 0 fire. I see that now. But you don't need water in that case either. Yeah, works for me. Alright, sharpness.
Not in your dreams. Reload! If it hides,
Weak point is there. Law is already dead.
Astro Arts?
That's my cue.
Is it?
Shut him down.
Illuminate the strike.
no, it's shooting its water. No. Ouch. Oh crap. I forgot I'm not invincible when I'm in that state. I only have 9 life bottles. Whoops. Better be careful then. Ah, no.
Watch yourself. Okay? Yeah, you too.
Now I'm in the groove. Raining slash. Blow away. Raining slash. Blow away. I'll finish you here and now. Blow away. Quiver flash.
There you go.
Ouch, ouch.
Where are you going?
Okay, another one of his attacks is just literally around him. Oh no. It's firing its lasers. Alright, nice, nice, nice. Blah blah blah, magic.
Try harder. My turn.
Here, let me help.
Raining
First aid. Searing
The flame inside me yearns to be let free.
Anything in order.
It's firing its laser. Oh, oops, wrong one.
In a bind.
Damn. What spell does it even do?
I can carve through armor.
Oh, right, forgot. This is the kind of enemy Law gets to go behind with. Oops. That hurt.
Don't give up. A wailing banshee of lightning. Resuscitate. I'm ready.
No. Oh.
Save you. This ends now. Blow away. Raining slash. Blow away. Raining slash.
This one's mine. Lightning orb.
Blow away. Raining slash. Blow away.
Ooh, Rinwell, watch out. Nice dodge.
Now I can let loose. Raining slash.
Woohoo, very close, mate. Oh, Shion. Watch out.
I can feel the medicine working.
Blow away. Raining
Beyond the darkest sky. It's time to finish this.
Die! Consuming wildfire! With the G36C.
Blow away. Raining slash.
Ah, right. No more sharpness for D. Oh, it crit. Oh, crap.
A chain between heaven and earth. Hold on to your art. Can't be happening.
No, Shion is down. It got fired up by the laser beam.
Winds of heaven. Please don't mind if I do. Healing circle. Eat this. A chain between heaven and earth.
Ooh. I should have dodged. I got too greedy with sharpness.
Not my finest. I'll bring you back from death to winds of heaven. I'll bring you back from death to blood. Resuscitation. Fires of passion.
Not done yet.
And sharpness will. Flare tornado.
Blow away.
Here goes. Illuminate the dark. I'll bring you back from death to holy glimpse. Holy land.
Raining slash.
Double crit. Ooh, Shion, no.
I hope this medicine
A
works.
whirling struggle. Flew away. Shattering. Raining in. Attack time.
In here.
Ah, it was doing a laser beamer.
To be let free. Flew away.
Do it.
Oh,
Raining slash. Demon's descent.
slashing fang.
Burning slash. Talon hurricane. Flew away.
They're not playing.
Ouch, that hurt.
Send here.
Oh,
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
tidal wave. Ah, shoot.
Violent darting wind.
It casted way too fast for me to follow.
Between heaven and earth. Take care of. I'll bring you back
Oops.
from death's abyss.
Oh, you are gonna pay for that.
Oh boy, Shion is in trouble now. Oh no, Shion is definitely in trouble now.
I hope this medicine works as promised.
Flew away. Any more of this and I'll burn out. I'll smash you.
Alright, that should buy us some time. Alright, orange gel it is.
That did it. I'm on it.
Here goes.
Flew away.
Yes!
Well, it's really.
Take it down.
Wow, it does a spin attack exactly when I do a blazing sword wombo combo. Oh well, not like it's the first time.
Can't be happening.
Wow, it immediately destroys Shion. Law.
I hope this thing is medically approved. Can't move.
Ah, what is this move now? That's a different one.
Not done yet.
I see it becoming increasingly difficult to beat this one up.
They're not playing
What?
around.
I did not.
Try to dodge.
It still cast the tidal wave. The fucker. Let's charge at me.
Try harder. No, this one's all mine.
This one's mine.
Oh, Shion, no. I got you in the tidal wave.
You feel the medicine. This can't be happening.
It's still.
Away from my friend.
How can you talk, Alphen? You're dead.
A whirling struggle. Resuscitation. Winds of heaven. Let me help.
I owe you one.
Seal. This'll come in handy. By the power of a whirling struggle. Finish without a trace. Winds of heaven.
Oh, right, no orange gels.
And burst forth.
I'm gonna need more of that
Seal.
medicine.
Let's get you off the wall.
Raining slash. Can't get out of this.
Healing circle. I won't give up.
God dang, would it stop killing Shion already?
You'll pay for that. Raining slash.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Come forth, holy land. Here goes. A chain between heaven and earth. A wailing dancy of lightning in here. Go. Can't be happening.
Wow, it again? Does Shion have something that increases aggro all of a sudden?
Supernova. First aid.
Raining
Up and
slash.
down. Let's go.
Flew away. Burn it hell.
Illuminate. Reload. It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone.
Chain between heaven and earth.
What? It still casted the spell? What the fuck?
No. Can't end.
How did I not see him do it?
Here.
A chain between heaven
And Law is about to die.
and earth.
Oh no, come on. Oh my god, guys. I'm gonna die, I can't move.
Back from Death's Abyss.
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, give this more time. Wait, oh, you resurrected her first.
I won't give up.
Oh my god, really? One life bottle remaining. What the fuck is everyone around this thing? This is so... This guy is just so annoying.
Too much.
And everyone else too, who just keep on going near to him.
Try harder. My turn. Blow away. I can't move.
Well, I guess it's as typical as it goes. After the half mark, it's pretty difficult. Well, here you go. How? What the fuck? Did Law miss that on purpose?
Denied.
Not my finest.
You could have just evaded that tidal wave. Well, that happens. Alright, a good lesson learned, I guess. Well then, on that note, I shall be returning to the title screen. Ah, yes. I forgot that actually happens. Continue. I see it's loading this save right before going in there. Ah, right, my maturity and stuff like that. Okay. I guess I shall come back here another time. Just like I'll be streaming another time. Just stay tuned next week. I have no idea when I'll do it. Probably next thing you know it will be Monday or not. If not, then Tuesday, and then if not, then Thursday, then if not, Friday, who knows. Until then, everybody, I guess I'll do it this way now. Sometimes I don't think the second opening is very well known, so I'll let it keep playing. And until then, everybody, thank you all for coming again, and as always, enjoy.
気がつかずに僕は一人に